Hello and welcome to the Health Oddity Podcast, episode 287. Today it is myself and Mr. Peter Lance, and
Hello.
we have got three main topics that we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about Britain's Strongest Man that was on this past weekend. Pete was there live and in person in Sheffield, and I was watching live on the live stream out in France. And then we can talk a little bit about the snowboarding stroke ski holiday that I was on last week. And also I want to talk about protein requirements and calculating protein, which is something that I've been doing over recent weeks, working with Shane Nugent from Quantum Nutrition. So yeah, a few bits to talk about. And then the next 2 weeks, we have guests already lined up in the pipeline that will be coming up. But yeah, Pete, Sheffield at the weekend, Britain's Strongest Man. You were there live.
It was great.
What was that like?
It was amazing. It was a great event. Like, honestly, is anyone? Oh, do I have to wait until Christmas before we tell anyone what happened? No, it was,
No, I think people who are interested will kind of have an idea. Will know already, won't they?
It was great. I mean, Tom was going to win it, wasn't he? I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion, but like he was looking good. And then like Adam
was that
Bishop.
David Brent's band foregone conclusion, wasn't it?
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Equality Street.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Native American. That was a good one. Anyway, yeah,
Tom Stoltman. Yeah.
Adam Bishop coming second after last year, because like, what's he, 37? So after last year, like there was a couple of them. There was like Gavin didn't look good last year. Bishop didn't look good last year. And it just looks like, you get to a certain age and they look knackered. You know what I mean? Like, but they're not. But on the day they look knackered and you think like, oh, is that it for them? And then Bishop come back and he was like, he was really good. He was ridiculous good. And Paddy as well. I mean, Paddy's always good, isn't he, at the minute? He's got youth on his side as well. But Andrew Flynn as well, I mean, he kind of came, what was he, third last year, and he didn't come. He did like. It's not he didn't perform well. It's just like everyone else was really good.
Fifth or sixth, wasn't it? I think this year. Yeah. I can't because just to run down, we had Tom Stoltman in first place, Adam Bishop in second, Paddy Haynes in third, Gavin Bilton in fourth, and then like you say, then you had I'm not sure if it was Flynn after that, but I mean, the thing was that Paddy last year was half a point off of the podium, wasn't he? So he was in fourth place, half a point behind third. And this year, he was in third place, half a point off of second.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Honestly,
so
it was, and Ben Glasscock as well, friend of the show, did like, he didn't come sort of like very far up, but he looked good.
Yeah,
because he's a bit smaller than everyone. He's like shorter. He's only 6 foot or something.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. But he's like he looked like he belonged there, and he said that on the podcast, didn't he? He was like he was going through that thing of like, should I? He was having the mindset of like, do I belong in these places? And he clearly does. So that was really good to see, actually. So
because I think last year he came fifth, and he was hoping to get a podium this year. But I think everyone just upped their games so much.
It was a completely different class this year. I think everyone, which is why Flynn didn't look like he'd not done very well, but he didn't come third like he did last year because everyone did slightly better. So
Tom wasn't even there last year, was he?
No, exactly. And Luke came nowhere, but he was probably just wanting Tom to win and all of that. So yeah, it was great. Honestly, it was kind of nail biting stuff. It's how it should be. It was really exciting. It was like, who's going to be like, you were kind of like, we thought Paddy had snuck into second, but he hadn't, and it was only a half a point in it, and it's how can you tell? And then also, I mean, that bag tossing event, that would have been almost a draw between him and Bishop, but Paddy's nicked the bar, didn't it? So Bishop's landed.
Because it was the one that actually landed on the floor first. Yeah, and they both threw them at the same time, and like you say, Paddy's just clipped the top of the bar, which slowed it down a touch, and it landed probably half a second after Bishop's, didn't it? So yeah.
And there was I think it was Gav, wasn't it, when he threw it? Was it Gav? Where like he kept throwing them and one of them hadn't gone over. It looked like
no, it wasn't. It was I think it was because the guy got really, really angry.
Oh, it was the Irish guy. It was The other Irish guy, the one with tattoos on his face, I can't remember his name.
Oh, the young guy, the smaller guy, MK, who
Yes,
was who
I
was
think
the
it was him. Yeah,
105 kilo. Yeah, because he was just throwing them, and one of them didn't go, and then he had to get three of them back through again
yeah, because
and
he brought
throw
the
them
wrong one back,
again.
and they're like, you have to get the other one as well, and you have to throw it
Yeah,
again because that's gone over, but it went over after the other one didn't, so you've got
yeah.
to
So you
do
got
it
to throw them
again.
in order.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't look overly happy with it.
No, he looked really angry on the
Because he
thing,
would have
but
got him as well, because he got four of them and he couldn't get the last one because he was knackered. But I
yeah.
think he would have got it otherwise, so he was fairly
Yeah,
quick
because
as well.
he'd thrown about 8 bags because he obviously threw
Yeah.
like he threw sort of say four, then he had to throw two of or three of them again, and yeah, so it was
Yeah.
quite a lot. Yeah,
But
no,
the
it's
young
great.
lad as well, I forget the Irish guy.
Rory O'Hagan, I think it was.
Honestly, he
Yeah,
weighs what, 100, did he say 105 kilos?
no, he's about 115.
115, okay.
Yeah,
But he was smaller than everyone. He's
mm.
younger than everyone. He's only 21 or something. But I mean,
Yeah.
he
I think
got
he was 20. I think he's 25. Rory
is he?
O'Hagan. Yeah, yeah, I think he's 25.
I thought they said he was 21. But anyway,
Yeah,
never mind. So I've got all
yeah.
of that wrong. I've got his weight wrong and
Well,
he's
yeah, no, but near, but only because I was watching it, so I was getting all the proper commentary,
all right,
as I
yeah,
was
you don't
watching
really
it.
see
Yeah,
it when you're there, but
yeah.
I mean, he was just like the car carry didn't put it down, and that's like four times his body weight or something, or nearly. And the deadlift 4 reps. I mean, that was good because like Stoltman only got 7,
Mm.
and Paddy got 8, and the world record was 9. And like a few other people didn't even get anywhere near that, and that was a hard one as well. So getting
Mm.
4 on that for his size was 350 kilos.
Yeah, that was 360 on an axle. So it was really
Yeah,
hard. Yeah.
yeah,
And like you say, it was, but I've seen him a few times at the UK Strongest Man's recently. And in that kind of lineup, he's kind of like a normal size guy, you know what I mean? Or kind of the same, because it's a kind of like the Ultimates is a bit more like, I suppose, like the championship in terms of
yeah,
football. Not that I know anything about football. And then Giants Live is like the Premiership, isn't it? It's kind of like
yeah.
the next level up. So and Giants Live. So lots of them are massive in that, and you got like Gav Bilton who's I don't know 6'6", and Tom Stoltman who's probably six not 8 or 9, and
Six
they're
eight,
all
I think. Isn't
massive
he?
at
It was dead.
180
It was dead
kilos and
funny
stuff.
though because I was sitting there like with Sean and our sister Emma who came over for it from Guernsey, flew over, and then we drove up to Sheffield. And we were just looking at, and I was like, "Oh, there's Luke. I've had my arm halfway around him."
It was great. And then what did you do? Did you just stay up in Sheffield that night
Yeah,
afterwards?
yeah,
And yeah.
yeah. We just stayed in Airbnb, so we went and got some food, which because we got there quite late because I did the walk in the morning, and somebody had a diabetic attack. Of course, it would happen on the.
Oh, God,
It was all
okay.
right. They just needed some sugar and stuff, but it was
Mm.
just like, oh, bloody hell. It would be today, wouldn't it? Because we were like, right, we'll sort that out. We'll give the dog to someone who would already arranged, and then we'll just leave. But all that happened. So we
Yeah.
got there 4:04. It starts at 5. So we jumped
Mm.
on the tram and got there just in time. But yeah, it was good. And then we just stayed in Airbnb, went for breakfast at the Grind Cafe. I don't know where it is, but it's in Sheffield. It's a great place. That's kind of tradition now. We go there for breakfast afterwards and then leave. And it was lush.
Excellent.
And then we
And
grabbed some
then
food from there for dinner for the evening. So yeah, it was fantastic.
lovely. And you're going to be at the Royal Albert Hall in
Yep,
July, I think, aren't you? At the Strongman
yep.
Classic as well. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I'll
we're
be
there as
there
well. Yeah,
again.
I
Yeah.
think Sean's sister's coming to that as well. So
Oh
it's a whole
wow.
family
Okay.
affair.
Oh, well, we'll definitely see you there. That'll be great. And obviously, Paddy, as we're recording in about a week and in about 10 days, is going to be at Unique
Yes.
Results doing a workshop with us, which is going to be great. So yeah, really looking forward to spending some time with him in person. And then, like you say, he's off to a load of them are off obviously to the World's Strongest Man now in April. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be great.
Flynn didn't get an invite, did
No,
he?
Flynn has, yeah,
He
he's got
has.
an
He
in,
has.
yeah,
So he'll be
yeah.
going. Okay.
Because I think they
Oh, it was
announced it this
Gavin. It was
week.
Gavin. We were saying Gavin Bilton's not going, but
Yeah,
he'll do
not
Europe.
yet, but
Hopefully.
they've announced. I think they've announced 20. There was sort of like 12 qualifying places that they announced, which is all kind of the people that we know have already qualified and been invited as qualifications. Like Rayno now is obviously invited as the former
Yeah.
champion, Tom Stoltman, Mitch Hooper, all those guys. And then there was about 6 or 7 wild card invites, which they've put out. And I think Flynn might be on one of those.
Yeah.
And there's about another 5 places going. So I think what they're going to do is maybe see because Europe's is the last kind of qualifying event, so they'll probably see who does well there, and then they've got like five more invites they can
Yeah.
ask people. So we'll have to see. But no, it's yeah, really really good. No, it's excellent. Oh, that's great that you had a great time there. Yeah, and I saw your
Honestly,
picture.
the Giants live events are just brilliant. They go so well.
Yeah,
They did a Par O'Dwyer tribute at the end as well, and Eddie Hall got everyone. He said, "Right, finish this sentence."
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
don't be and everybody.
Yeah, it was good because they showed all of that on the live stream, which was really nice. And Eddie Hall got really quite emotional, didn't he?
Yeah,
He kind of got really choked up when he was talking at the end.
yeah,
And they all had like DBAC, stickers on their sleeves, and
yeah.
Tom had a hat as well that he was wearing on the podium. Because yeah, so no, it's quite emotional. Yeah,
No, it was amazing. I mean, they've raised like 250 grand or something for the family, haven't they? From through
mm,
Eddie
yeah,
Hall's thing. So yeah,
yeah. No, it's
amazing.
good.
It's an amazing
Ex,
event, though. Honestly, it was just lush.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
just great. I can
And it's
highly
a bigger
recommend
one,
it.
isn't it? Because I think there was about 9,000 people there, they were saying.
It was
And
full. Yeah.
obviously, and at the Royal Albert Hall, I think it's nearer like 5,000, just because of the
At
size of
all.
the arena. Yeah,
All right.
it's not a huge arena. I'm
Well,
going to be,
we're all booked up for next year anyway.
what, for the Sheffield?
Yeah.
Ah,
Sean just organises it all straight away. She's like, right, I'm done. So there you go.
yeah, so the Royal Albert Hall typically holds around 5,272. Yeah.
Around that, yeah. About 5,272.
I think
There or
that means
thereabouts.
in the sitting, but then sometimes, like when they fill in the middle bit,
Yeah.
and then so if you've got the proms or something on, it can be 5,900.
Oh,
So
okay.
I suppose if you've got something actually on the stage and the whole circle in the middle is filled in with seats, but when it's as we see it, it's around the 5,000 mark. So
Oh,
it's a
cool.
kind of a smaller event. But yeah, no, it's there you go. If you were ever wondering what the capacity of the Royal Albert Hall in London is, you now know.
And Sheffield Arena's around 9 or 10,000. So there you go.
Yes, yes,
Done.
yes, yes, yes.
Anyway,
Cool. Yeah,
moving
so
on.
I was
How
away.
was
I
your
was away.
holiday?
Yeah. So I was away last week, obviously snowboarding with Mr. James Brees, who was on the podcast with us last week, and six other people. There was eight of us last week out in France. That was absolutely brilliant. And I did a little video for the members the other day, actually, just saying how when you I was doing something around. We've spoke about this a lot on the podcast. I've kind of clarified my mission, if you like, with unique results as being helping people to feel healthy, look healthy, be healthy, and get the most out of life.
Hmm.
And it's about being able to say yes to more, which is what we talk about on the podcast a lot. And a lot of people say no. You're nodding.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But
And
like
it's
someone says, do you want to go to the lakes and walk up a mountain? You say yes. You don't say, oh, I'm not sure if I
yeah.
can. Yeah.
So I had a chat. We was having a chat with someone yesterday about. So I speak to lots of different people, and lots of people are in that position, unfortunately, where if they want to go on a kind of we were trying to just put our minds in the space of people who are restricted, kind of physically and emotionally, mentally, but not really through, as we've mentioned, I know on the podcast, without the caveat of sort of physical disability and that sort of thing, but just not being fit enough and being capable enough and being able enough and being strong enough to maybe go and, like you say, go out if you're on holiday and there's an excursion or something.
Yeah.
Some people really have to think, oh, how long are we out for? How far is it going to be to walk? It's going to be hot. Am I going to be able to do it? Or being able to, to go skiing or go snowboarding or go swimming or do things with your family.
And an extra little bit on that, someone who wants to go and see a film at the pictures. The pictures? Is it the cinema or the pictures? I call it the pictures because I'm
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
But someone who wants, like, there's a lady who comes on our walks whose husband died, and it sounds like he did quite a lot for her, and she doesn't drive and all that. And she was like, she wouldn't go. She wanted to see some films, and she wouldn't go on her own, but she does now,
Mm.
and she does it all the time. But like that was a big deal for her because she's like, everyone will be looking at me, and it's like they're looking at the screen, So like even little things like that, being able to say yes to things like that, like I want to go and see something, but I've got no one to go with, so I'll do it on my own. That's a big deal for some people.
Mm.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I a little actually film recommendation for you that I think you'd really like, and the listeners probably, some of the listeners. I went to cinema twice yesterday. Once to watch the new Jason Statham film Shelter, which is
Yeah.
actually really really good, and it's set up in. He lives in this island on this tiny little island on the in the Outer Hebrides, and it's all a lot of it's in Scotland. It's really good.
How old is he now? He's like six. Is he
He's
60?
nearly 60, but
Yeah.
but it's a lot more of a down to earth Jason Statham film. It's not like he's still got action and he's still like a, assassin kind of guy, and he can obviously handle himself and he's former military, but it's not quite so John Wicky. It's a bit more slow horses, spies, and it's a bit more like that. But that was really good. But the film I was going to mention it's called H for Hawk. And it's
Or as I, in my head, I've got it. Kez 2,
Kes too, yeah.
the revenge of the
It
Kez.
did make me think about Kes, but Kes was a falcon, wasn't it? I think
No, Kez was a Kestrel.
a kestrel. Oh, obviously
Yeah,
Kes was a kestrel. Sorry,
yeah.
but H for H for hawk, which is really really good. But it's the reason I say it's lovely and you'd really like it is so much out in
Yeah.
nature and the photography and the wildlife and the being out and walking with this hawk and hunting and just being in the woods, and it was lovely, really really good film. Anyway,
Excellent. Yeah.
I went on that tangent because you said about going to the cinema, didn't I?
Yeah. No, that's all right. Well,
um,
it's funny because Ken Loach, who directed
directly
Kez,
Kes, yeah.
he lives around here. I know he lives like up the road in Bath,
Hmm.
and he goes down to the football every week. And like
Yeah.
like there's like 2,000 people who go to the football here. It's not very big because I think they're non-league.
Hmm.
But at half time he does like a little lap around and walks around, just
Hmm.
says hello to a few people and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I remember watching Kes at school, actually, in secondary
Yeah.
school. Yeah, yeah. But no, it's very, very good, and it's beautiful, really beautiful film about photography and hawks and the countryside and all the rest of it.
When you posted about, I wanted to put a comment saying, "Is it like
Kes
Kez 2?" And then I
too.
thought, no, because I'll be one of those people who we talked about the other week.
Yeah. Oh dear. No, so the snowboarding. I mean, obviously, because I've consistently train obviously strength and fitness and health and try and look after myself, you can go on those things, and they're hard days. Some days we were going up the mountain at like 9 o'clock in the morning and not coming down till 5, and we don't stop
What took you that long?
what's that?
It took you that long?
It took me that long,
Was it
yeah.
snow rubbish or something?
And but it was myself, James Brees, and friend of the show, Paul Field, hanging around together because we're the three snowboarders, and the skiers kind of do their own things. They move a bit faster and they want to travel and see more. Where we kind of playing around a bit more, and but we never stopped for lunch really. I bought a load of kind of protein bars and stuff just from England, just to put in my rucksack for the day. So you kind of stop a couple of times a day for a coffee and have a bar and stuff like that. But really, really good, and it's just so enjoyable and so great. And I know that you did snowboard in the past, and it'd be amazing one year for you to come away with us.
I wasn't very good though.
No, I'm not very good either.
I
It's just
remember
fun.
watching the 2010 Olympics,
Mm,
the in Vancouver,
mm.
and it was in Whistler as well. And like Whistler was where I used to go because I had family there. And I did the Dave Murray downhill eventually on the snowboard, right? And I remember there's a bit at the bottom which is like really, it's near the bottom. I might be wrong, but it's near maybe it's more than halfway down. Put it that way, but it's really steep. And the first time I went down it, it was like icy and everything, and I was learning, so I went down on my ass.
Mm.
And as somebody got stretchered off, like below me, they went like because there's a steep bit, but there's another bit where you can go down and around. But I'm going down the
Yes.
steep bit today, and somebody had obviously fallen on it and was getting like skied off the mountain
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
think it's quite close to the bottom. But the next time I did it was after it had like really there was really good snow. It was a couple of years later and there was really good snow, and it was like, oh, this is what snowboarding should be like. Because
Yeah.
I'd always done it on ice and it just hurts.
Yeah. It's
Whereas on
horrible.
snow, it was like, oh, this is lovely. So I managed to get down and I thought it was great. And it took me ages. But I thought, like, I'm moving here and all that. And then you watch the Olympics and they do it in like a millisecond. That one
Yeah.
little bit, like, gone.
Have you seen that video? I don't think I posted it to you, but I posted it in a couple of groups yesterday of the guy running uphill with the skis on.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's he's doing like is he doing like 6 minute miles or
yeah,
something?
he's doing at some point he's doing like 11 miles an hour. It's
Yeah,
it's 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 mad, and he's sprinting uphill with the skis on and with obviously the poles, and it's got the speedo above him, and he's doing like 17, 18 kilometers an hour
yeah.
sometimes. And I put in my group, in the gym group, I said, if you imagine jumping on the treadmill and running at 16 kilometers an hour, which is really fast on the treadmill, and then you're doing it uphill on snow with skis on and poles. It's
Yeah,
just incredible.
it's
Yeah.
it's it's bonkers. It's absolutely crazy. And I've tried when I was in Whistler again. I tried cross country skiing,
Ah, okay.
and you had to go like it was like, oh, there's a little bit where you got to go uphill. I was like, well, how the hell do you do that on ski?
Mm. Yeah.
And I couldn't figure it out.
Because I think those guys, the cross country skiers, have got like, I think them and cyclists, I think, potentially rowers, have got like the highest like VO2 maxes,
Yeah.
those cross country skiers, because they're just a different
Well, there was
breed.
that guy, wasn't there, who Mark Rifkin, friend of the show, shared it.
Oh,
I think
God,
Paul shared
yeah,
it as
over
well. Who's got
100,
like
was it?
it's 101 or something. His
Yeah,
VO2 max,
yeah,
which basically means, as far as what Paul said in his post about it, was like he just doesn't get tired,
yeah.
doesn't get fatigued. He just keeps going. It's absolutely
Because I
mental.
think even like elite level cyclists are like around, say, 50 or 60, maybe,
Yeah, I think he said footballers were, cyclists might be a bit more, but it's still,
Yeah,
it's
but
like it's
100,
high.
yeah, it's off the charts, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah,
compared to, yeah, no, it's incredible. No,
yeah,
that was really good. And then I wanted to touch on this, and you mentioned, we mentioned just before we came on about, I'm obviously doing this work with Shane from Quantum Nutrition at the moment, and we've been doing this habit stacking, which has been working really, really nicely. We mentioned it a few weeks ago, whereby initially we were looking at doing 8,000 steps a day, because James Priest was laughing at the weekend because last week when I said about we said about the Dan John one, didn't we? The,
yeah.
the eight and eight. But what but I think you said, was it 7 or 8,000 was the sweet spot?
7.
Seven. Okay.
Yeah, something like so. Seventh. There's a chart of it. So
Mm.
Jeanette Dunridge, who I'll say, what's that thing called? Bee chocolate. Look them up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
they don't sponsor us or anything, but it's really nice. Just she's bought one of my t-shirts, so I thought
Oh,
I'd give
lovely.
her a shout.
Yeah, she
Out.
wrote Jeanette wrote a couple of really lovely comments on the podcast that we
Yeah,
did with Will Person, didn't she?
yeah, she did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no, it's
so
lovely.
she's been great, but yeah, I'm selling some limited edition t-shirts, which will be done by now, so I'm not selling them on here. But she bought one, so thank you, Jeanette.
Excellent.
Um, and B chocolate. Anyway, what were we saying?
Uh, 77 and 8,000 steps
Yeah,
because yeah,
she sent an email with it on, and there was a chart, and basically 7,000 steps is the sweet spot for all cause mortality, like everything,
mm,
heart disease, cancer, the whole lot.
mm.
But anything above that is just extra. Anything below that, and the percentage chance of overcoming those things, or the percentage chance of getting them, go up.
Yeah, the risk, yeah,
So the
yeah,
risk goes up until you get to 7,000, or the risk comes down, sorry, until you get to 7,000, then it stays where it's at further up than that. And there's a few studies about that.
mm.
Yeah. But if you
But
do
like you
any more,
say,
if you
if
do
you
any
if
more,
you
it's not detrimental either. It's just more
it's not going
steps.
to do you any harm. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you say, and you do a lot more than that, and I'm striving to do more than that. But yeah, I know what you mean. You don't feel like if you're not hitting 15,000 steps a day, it's not worth doing. If you can get your 7,000 minimum a day, then that's fantastic. But yeah, so sorry, Pete.
But the habit stacking thing goes with it. If you're doing 2,000 steps a day, 3,000's better.
Mm,
Like
exactly.
you
Yeah.
can't you might not go from 2 to 7, but you can go from 2 to 3, and then
Mm,
3 to 4 will be easier, and then 4 to 5, and then get to
yeah.
7. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing. Oh, well, sorry, a few tangents this time. It made me laugh because I just thought of you because friend of the show, Paul Field, he's got his step-in bindings on his snowboard, and I remember when I mentioned it before, you said, "Of course he has," like that. And so if Paul's listening, we when we were snowboarding, I kept saying to him, "Oh, look at you with your step-in bindings." Of course he has, not this, and he knows that it's you who said it. But he trained this morning, and he said, "I was watching a video about these stepping bindings, which basically you just so the board is the board is on the floor. You just step your feet in. You don't have to sit down and
Yeah.
ratchet them up and all the rest of it." And he watched the video and he realised he's actually got them. He's always set them up the wrong way round, these bindings. So it could even be even easier because you have to step your feet in and I think you have to reach down and press a button to unlock them or something. And he's got the unlocking device on the outside of his ankle when if it's on the inside of the ankle, it's much easier to reach. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And he's set it up the wrong way around. So anyway, friend of the show,
What a silly boy.
so he's worked that out. So it'll be even easier next time. But yeah, so the habit anyway. Back to the habit stacking. So 8,000 steps per day, minimum of aiming for your kind of minimum of 5 or 6 portions of fruit and veg per day, 2 liters of fluids per day. And then what he introduced was like he did a workshop on protein with us, which was calculating. And none. The thing is, that's really good. None of it is rocket science. None of it is too difficult, but it does take a little bit of work. And I did another video the other day about certain people are coming to me saying they're a bit overwhelmed with it all, like, oh, well, I've got to track this and I've got to measure this and I've got to do this. And I kind of sort of said that, well, when you start doing anything new, it's overwhelming, isn't it? You have to kind of you're a bit overwhelmed with the amount of new information you need to take in and the different processes you need to do, but it gets easier. But by just adding one or two things at a time, it kind of does make adopting these habits easier. So the protein, anyway, we were going to talk about it. I know was he said you want to be taking between 1.2 and 1.8 grams of protein per kilogram for 95% of the population,
Which
and
yeah, which is everywhere, right?
yeah, and
Everyone says, yeah.
the luck, but but then you look at the amount of activity you do and how active you are, and if you strength train and all the rest of it, you want to be towards the higher end of that, the 1.8. And if you're, fairly sedentary and you don't do, a huge amount of stuff, then maybe you can be towards the 1.2 or the 1.4. But
Yep.
so what I've done is I've gone in at 1.6 and I've worked it out, and it's approximately, I kind of rounded it up slightly just to make it a round number. It's 150 grams a day, which is what I'm trying to take on. And
Yep.
it works out if you went to the high end, I think, and did 1.8 grams per kilo of body weight, then that would work out at sort of zero point 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. And there was the number that's thrown around most of the time in the kind of strength space, the bodybuilding space, is 1 gram per pound,
Yeah.
of body weight. So 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. I mean, but just from anecdotally from the members, people who are doing this, a lot of people initially have found it very challenging to get to their protein targets each day. But then he's done some workshops with us and put lots of information in there about kind of little ways that you can bolster and increase your protein intake per day through doing various things to kind of get the protein up there. And I'm actually tracking mine properly every day now for the first time ever, really. I mean, I always kept an eye on it and tried to make sure, but I never really knew unless you got something with a packet on that tells you how much protein's in it. I never weighed anything before, really, but I thought I was being approximate. But it's actually really eye-opening, and I'm really finding it beneficial to actually track and get the protein in there. I mean, what do you?
Were you close to it then, or were you on it? Were you over it?
I mean, some days I probably would go over it. Some days I'll be under it. Some days,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So it was kind of a bit of hit and miss. I think I probably underestimated the amount of protein in certain things because sometimes I'll eat a huge amount of like meat and chicken and eggs and fish and even things like cheese and stuff, and didn't really know the amounts I was taking in. I had an idea, but I was just kind of taking round numbers and kind of rounding up really or rounding down. But yeah, I'm finding to hit the 150 is pretty. You definitely have to consciously make an effort to do it, you're not going to hit that much accidentally, I
No,
think. But what about yourself? Do you track anything, or do you
I
roughly kind of
don't,
have an
but
idea?
I don't. But I have collagen every morning in my
Mm.
coffee. That's like 12 grams of protein just before I've even started.
Yeah,
Um, and then I just try and eat lots of. I basically try and make my meal protein, and then the rest is bonus.
yeah.
So the veg and all that sort of stuff.
Mm.
So yeah, just trying to eat like not loads of fish. Actually, I don't eat loads of fish,
Mm.
but every meal has meat on it or fish.
Mm.
And I eat eggs in the morning or
Mm.
yogurt. Like
Yeah,
I'm on a thing of like because I eat a lot of eggs. I've upped it now because I'm doing Bulgarian split squats and I'm doing shitloads of them. So I'm now eating
yeah,
5 eggs with my breakfast in the morning instead of 4.
yeah.
But I'll have with that, I'll chuck in some, if there's sausages left over from the night before, I'll have those as well. And I have like cheese in there and whatever.
Mm.
But like just basically anything that's got protein in, I'll chuck it in.
Mm.
Because I eat after I train and I only eat 2 meals a day anyway.
Mm.
So until recently, actually, I've started snacking, not snacking, but maybe having a bit of lunch, but a small lunch.
Mm.
Because I'm doing like loads of long walks at the minute.
Mm.
So that's just getting the calories in. But yeah, tracking wise, no, I don't. Because I
Mm.
was I was thinking about this. If you get like when people get overwhelmed with stuff, the way I think about it is because there'll be I was going to say there's two different types but there's lots of different types of people, right? But you'll get someone who's like, I'm going to do something new and I want to know everything about it before, but like while I'm doing it. Whereas the way I start looking at stuff now is like, if I'm going to do something new, I'm going to find someone who knows what they're talking about to tell me what to do, and I'm just going to do it. And
Mm.
during the process, I'll find out why. But I don't need
Mm.
to know why in the beginning. I just need to know what to do, and I'll be told what to do, and I'll do it.
Mm.
And I'll follow it blindly from someone who knows what they're talking about, like
Mm.
Ted Nugent. Um, but um, but after a while, I'll be like, you want your own, you want agency on it, right? You want to know why. So, but you can without getting overwhelmed. You can learn that at your
Mm.
own pace. I think
Mm.
that's the way I look at it.
Well, that's what I said in this. I did a little video yesterday, and I said in response to this kind of overwhelm sense that I'm getting from some people, and I said, well, look, the steps and the fruit and veg and the water or whatever is quite straightforward. We don't have to, just do your best with that.
Yeah,
And with the protein, don't worry about weighing and tracking everything, but just make sure that every meal you have, you know that there's some form of protein in it. Whether
yeah,
that be, like you said, meat, fish, cheese, eggs, whatever it is, cut yogurt. Um, and then down the line, if you want, if once you start doing that, you might feel like, well, actually, let's start now looking at the amount of it that I'm actually eating, and you can do that quite easily. But I was really surprised by the amount in cheese because I never really thought of. I know there's protein in dairy, obviously, but I'm out of it now. I'm all out of cheese because that's
there's no cheese,
there's
Gromit.
no cheese.
Not a bit in the house.
Because I don't actually tend to have a lot of cheese around the house anyway. But it's like at Christmas, and we didn't even buy any. But my mum gave me a load after Christmas, so I had loads of like Stilton and loads of different types of cheese. Yeah, like loads of kind of brie and camembert and different types of cheese with apricots and chilies and all different things in it. Anyway, this Stilton I weighed out the amount of Stilton that I had, and it had 70 grams of protein in it,
There
which
you
is
go then.
huge. I mean, it was a big chunk of Stilton, but you still sort of thought, well, that's like more than a big ribeye steak,
Yeah,
in like this cheese. So, and yogurt, obviously, I have a lot. There was something I watched recently where um, I can't remember who it was, but it was something on Instagram or something where they said we need to understand that 2 eggs at breakfast is not like a high protein breakfast, because if you think it's kind of 6 or 7 grams per egg depending on the
yeah,
size of your egg, so that's going to be 12 to 14 grams of protein. But like you said, I think when you have your collagen in the morning, that's got, did you say 12 or 14?
12.
12, yeah, because I know Steph has that as well, which got protein. And if you have like a whey protein drink or something, much of the time that's got, say, 20 to 30 grams in it, in the shake. So, yeah, this sort of two eggs is not a big protein breakfast, but people kind of think that it is. And I think we've spoke about this before when we've had various people on the podcast and we've spoke about eggs, haven't we?
Yeah.
And there's this kind of feeling of, oh, mustn't have too many eggs because it'll raise my cholesterol and it's got too much fat in it and all the rest of it.
Well,
But yeah,
I'm going to die very soon if that's the case. I'm not going to live very long. Because if I have fat, like I, I figured it out for someone a while ago. I actually looked at it, but because I eat a lot of black pudding as well. It turns out,
mm,
apparently. So I'll chop some black pudding up and chuck it in as well. So inevitably, my breakfast is 5 eggs, a bit of cheese, not loads, a bit of cheese, some black pudding, possibly some sausages or something, sauerkraut as well. But like that doesn't matter for protein. But all of that basically by the time, so that's 30 grams of protein just in eggs, and plus another 10 or 15 grams with everything else in there, plus the 12 I've had with the collagen. What are you talking? 40, 50? You're talking like 55, 60 grams of protein, and I only need 125 in a day if you're doing the 1.8, because
yeah,
I'm like 70 kilos,
yeah,
72, but it's like it's lean body mass anyway, isn't it? And all that. So anyway, so I'm like, I'm pretty much halfway there in my breakfast.
mm,
So, and any snack that I have will be a protein snack.
yeah.
Um, so I don't really worry about it.
No, yeah, it
If I
sounds like, yeah,
start
you're,
getting, if I start getting tired more, um, then I'll be like, right, I need to look at what I'm eating,
mm.
but I don't at the minute. So
No. Well, I had just I know this is might be boring for listeners, it might not be, it might be interesting, but I had this sort of chicken curry at lunch today with which was made by Steph, and she also added, so I had the chicken curry and three hard-boiled eggs in there as well, and with everything else and the rice and all the rest of it, it had that meal had 110 grams of protein in it, which is huge, obviously. So
well,
now I only need like another 40 or 50 for the day, and I'll
yeah,
probably have like, I'd imagine I'll have Greek yogurt or something like that because that was a big meal. That was like
yeah.
a main big meal. So
Well,
now
yeah,
all I'll need is like some Greek yogurt or something to add the 30, 40 grams on top.
which
And
isn't
I'll be
hard to do
there.
with yogurt because
No,
there's loads of protein in yogurt.
yeah.
Um, I was um I was thinking about this earlier because I wondered how Shane would look at it and how he was talking to your guys about it because like tracking protein, tracking food, tracking calories, all of that sort of stuff. But when people are starting off, the way I look at it is it doesn't matter about how much you should be having and what your ideal is and all that. It matters at the minute what you are having. So
Mm,
just figure out where you're at first. And once you've
mm,
figured out where you're at, and be truthful about it, because a lot of people will be like, well, I'll not count that, and like, oh, this doesn't matter, and I had a latte from whatever, and that doesn't matter, and it's like, well, that's a lot of calories. So, because a lot of people, I think a lot of people, I've certainly experienced this with people, is they don't want to know how many they're having because they're a bit embarrassed about it. And it's like it doesn't matter, just
mm.
detach from it. It is what it is. Um, and then I started to think which would you like? Do you give someone the option? It's like which would you do first? Do you want to increase your protein or decrease your calories? Because someone's going to look at it and they're going to go, I don't know anything about protein, but it's easy to decrease calories because I just eat less. But then I thought about it. I was out. It was while I was out on the dog walk earlier. I thought about it and I was like, actually, if you just get someone to say, if you say to someone you don't know anything about protein, but you've been tracking it, so you know how much you are having, just increase that, right? So it might sound like, well, if I increase my protein, I'm increasing my calories. And it's like, well, yeah, if you continue eating all the other stuff as well. But the likelihood is, if you just increase your protein, you'll be fuller for longer after meals. You're probably going to eat less anyway, or feel
Yeah.
like you need to eat less, or eat roughly the same. But you'll be on the same calories, but eating more of the good stuff. So
Mm.
that's the way I thought about it. And it's like, because I think if you give someone the option, they'll just go, I'll just reduce my calories. And it's not necessarily all about that, is it? I mean, it is, but There's
Yeah, so we're tracking two things at the moment, and I'm using this. I'm actually using like an app, like a NutriCheck app, which is kind of like, I suppose, my Fitness Pal, but it's
yeah.
one that we've paid for a year, which is
The
like,
pro- the thing is, so here's the thing with my Fitness
yeah.
Pal. There's lots of verified stuff in there, and then lots of non-verified stuff. So if you go in and you start searching, people just choose the one with the fewest calories.
Oh yeah,
So
no, this is
yeah,
yeah. Well, this is
like a
really
guy,
good
like
because it's
there's a burger place called Schwartz Brothers here. A guy years ago, he said, "Oh, he goes, yeah, I couldn't find a blue cheeseburger, whatever it is, and chips in the app, so I just found the closest one." And he showed me, and it was 500 calories, and I'm like, "You, that
at
is like
least double
at
that.
least a third of what you
Yeah.
actually had." So shut up, no
Yeah.
chance.
Well, this is really good because this you can you scan barcode. I mean, I'm seeing stuff now with AI, but this one you scan barcodes. You've got it's got like everything. Like even yesterday, I went to Everyman Cinema, like I said, and I took my mother-in-law to watch this H is for Hawk, and I went on the silver screen one, which is like meant for older people, to go. And when you go on the silver screen showing, you get a free tea or coffee and a bit of cake. Yeah. And so
I'm
I
doing that then. How old's old? It's
well,
50 old.
you're meant to be over 55.
Oh
But
man,
no, no, but
I'm
I get it
close.
because as long as you've got a ticket to that showing, you get the cake and
All
the
right.
the thing. But it was really good because I even went in and I said to Steph, I had a black coffee, black Americano, and a bit of carrot cake, and she said, "Well, have you added it to your thing?" I said, "It's not going to be on there, is it?" She goes, "Go in and type Everyman," and I typed in Everyman, and it's got everything on their menu in there. So I put in the Everyman carrot cake yesterday. Let's have a look.
And what was it out of interest?
405 calories.
Oh, that's not that bad. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not an insignificant amount,
I
though,
mean,
is it?
it's not like a massive, massive chunk of, it's not
But
like a
that'll
cheesecake
be
factory, but it's still fairly decent size.
that'll be like
405.
20% of someone's daily intake, probably,
Yeah, yeah,
roughly.
yeah. It is roughly, yeah. So, but so that's in there. So anyway, so all I'm tracking is I am tracking calories and protein are the two things that I'm looking at.
Yeah.
And the main one that I'm paying most attention to is the protein. But it's funny if I hit the protein, very often I'm not going over with the calories because the protein, like you say, the type of food that you're eating, you're eating high protein food. I'm not eating any rubbish.
Yeah, it's cheap calories, isn't it? Is the problem?
Mm.
Like, as you see it all the time. People like crisps and chocolate and like, I mean, you name anything, right? There's all
Mm.
these bad foods, right? But nothing's. It's all in moderation, isn't it?
Mm.
But if like ready meals, all that sort of stuff, it's just all like it's calories for calories' sake. If you eat a ready meal, it's tiny. You're not going to be full, and you'll have had like half your day's calories.
Yeah.
Whereas if you eat what you eat, you're going to be stuffed and
Yeah.
not be able to move,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
still under.
Yeah, but it's good. So the one thing it does do, it's like the steps. I think anything where it's what you do with information, isn't it, and what you do with the metrics that you've got. But um, like tracking steps. Once you start tracking steps, it just gives you that awareness of how much. Whereas before you may be oblivious, and if people aren't tracking and you ask them how much they do, they'll probably most people would overestimate the amount that they actually move. They might say, "Oh, I'm
Yeah,
probably doing about 10,000 a day," and they track and they're doing like 5,000, say. And the same, I think, probably is true with calories. Most people would underestimate the amount that they're eating because they're not really conscious and they're picking bits here and there. And they don't really know how much calories they're consuming. So once you actually start tracking and monitoring and measuring, and it's the old Peter Drucker, what gets measured gets managed.
yeah.
You just start to become aware of it and you start to make slightly different choices. So yeah, I mean it's early days for me doing it, but I'm doing it because it's what Shane is teaching our members to do. And I
Yeah.
want to kind of do it and do it with them so I can talk honestly and openly and see how it's going. But I'm actually quite enjoying it actually.
So this is funny actually. Over the weekend, so on Saturday, I got up, did the walk, And then we drove up to Sheffield and we went past Gloucester Services, which has got a farmer's market in it. Fantastic. It's like I'd been going on to Sean for a week. I was like, we're going past Gloucester Services. Hey, they've got great food. So they do really great sausage rolls, like massive sausage in the middle and pastry around the outside and all that. It costs a fortune. So I hadn't eaten yet, and it was like 1:30, 2:00 or something like that. So I was like, right, I got a sandwich, which was just brie and like tomato or something. Or mozzarella tomato, because mozzarella's got a lot of protein in as well. A sausage roll, like a cup of coffee and a brownie, because they've got brownies there as well in the slush. So that's what I had, and we shared the brownie. And then we got straight to the venue, so we didn't eat. So by the time it was 10:00 at night, I was like ready to eat my own arm. And we couldn't find anywhere to get any bloody food because everywhere was closing at 10:00, any restaurant or anything like that. So we ended up getting a Pizza Hut takeaway pizza from this. It was the only place we could find, right? And I was just like, I just want to get some food like quick. So I had pizza and a garlic bread, and I ate mine and half a Sean's and all of that. Slept like shite. Didn't sleep very well. Drank 2 bottles of water, two bottles like that, 750 mils of water overnight. Because
you're so salty and salty.
And then the next day we went to this cafe for breakfast, which basically just had like sausage and bacon and all that, but like done their way. It was really nice. It's good place. So that was like decent food. And then when we got back, we'd bought some stuff from there, like a phyllo pastry thing, a lasagna type thing that I had just big slices of it, and we shared that. And we had some bread and cheese with it and all that, and another brownie because they had these nut brownies there, which were really nice as well. So I don't usually do all this, right? But and we're trying to say like when you're away and you like make some decent food choices and that. This is a one-off, right? I'll do it like once a year. Felt like shit on Monday. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Bloated, gassy, tired. I had big bags under my eyes. I hadn't slept very well. I haven't felt like that for a long time. And it wasn't really all like shockingly terrible. I mean, the pizza probably wasn't great, but the rest of it wasn't shockingly terrible food. It was just stuff that I don't usually eat.
Yeah. And it just shows you, doesn't it? When you're not used to eating that regularly, and then you have like a 2-day kind of, like you say, blowout, if you like, where you just think, sod it, we're away. It really affects you.
Yeah, massively. I mean, I feel all right now, but like the beginning of this week, I didn't feel like myself. And I used to feel like that all the time. When people are like, I always, you get a lot of people feel bloated, gassy, this, that, like get bags under their eyes, get dry skin, get whatever. All of these things are kind of like, it's like go to your diet and look at it and see what you're having. So when people are like, because you get it as well, don't you? It's like, well, you need to track protein, you need to do this. God, I cannot be bothered with all that. I'm too tired. It's like, well, if you're eating it, you probably have more energy anyway to be able to look at it, and also you'll feel better. And then people tend to think, but it's boring. I really like my food. It's like you can still eat it and put spices in it, and it can still be interesting. It's just not like ready meals, or like it's not the crap that you usually eat. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I mean, Steph cooked for me. She cooked something for me yesterday, and I said that's probably one of the nicest meals I've ever had. It was like this ribeye steak. And then chicken thighs that were like marinated in like this sort of satay kind of, and fresh avocado, fresh tomato chopped up, and some sort of charred grilled peppers, and it was absolutely and mushrooms as well, cooked mushrooms, and it was absolutely gorgeous. And it was just a bit of steak, some chicken thighs. And then those kind of, vegetable type thing. And it was so simple, but absolutely delicious,
Well, I think this is where people look at stuff and say, yeah, but, they might look at it and go, well, that's boring. But the flavor in it is amazing. It's just, if you're used to hyper palatable foods and not chewing your food, and there's a thing in that, not chewing your food in your jaw and all of that sort of stuff, isn't there? I mean, like, it's all there. Because you put this stuff in, it just dissolves in your mouth and then it's gone. And then the calories are actually your body needs to process it less. So actually the calories are like, I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, then it makes sense in my head. But that's when you might start eating a bit more simply and going, well, it doesn't taste like right. I need to have loads of salt on it or something. It's like that's because your taste buds are used to hyper palatable stuff rather than actual real food.
Yeah.
And if you if you give it some time, stuff will start to taste really nice.
Mm. It's
So
probably like people who
that's what I
smoke,
find.
isn't it? Like people who smoke say that they can't. I mean, my dad was a lifelong smoker.
Yeah,
I've had the occasional cigarette when I was young, but I've never been a smoker. But I think that mucks your taste up, doesn't it? As well
yeah,
in your
yeah,
mouth,
absolutely. Yeah,
especially if you're puffing a cigarette in between bites.
in
Oh
between,
God,
yeah, which
horrible.
my
Yeah,
dad used to do that. Yeah,
yeah,
like, oh,
horrible.
that's lovely. Like, yeah, but I find it interesting though, because like again, it's people putting barriers in the way, isn't it?
Mm,
And like I can't do that because, and it's like just give it a try.
mm.
I used to be like that, and I'm glad I've changed it all. But um, when I was younger, I just wasn't willing to try like give anything a try because I was like, I'm going to live forever anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
feel bloated and horrible and all of that, and it's fine. Yeah.
Dear me. Anyway, that was good. Really good to catch up there. And we will be back next week.
I just want to say, by the way,
Yeah.
I'm starving now after all that. So I've actually got a venison burger from the butcher's, which he gave us for free because he had. I usually get lamb burgers from there, but he venison. I'm not sure about it. I think it might mess my guts up. I'm not sure. Sorry, by the way, if anyone's eating.
Venison's nice. No,
Well, I
venison's
haven't had it
lovely.
for a while.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, it usually, I think it's too rich for me. I don't know. And then so he was like, well, try one. So I'm having that with an egg.
Nice.
Straight after
Venison
this.
burger with an egg. Love, delicious, delicious. No, that would be great. Well, we will be back. Like I say, we've got guests on for the next 2 weeks. So we will be back next week with episode 288. Please do like, share, subscribe, leave a review if you're watching or listening on a platform that allows you to do so. Especially if you are listening on Apple Podcasts. We would love some more reviews on Apple Podcasts, and make sure you give us a follow on YouTube as well. And we will be back next week for episode 288. Bye bye, Mr. Peter Lant.
Bye bye, Mr. James St. Pierre.
Excellent. We'll see you next week. Bye bye.